to pay bills, to have heat, to have
Money. I
electricity.
hate fucking money, man.
It's ridiculous. Filthy
Fuck
core.
money, bro.
But
Fuck
basically,
this
how you just
together,
said,
man. Fuck this world.
this place is hell.
Hey man, that's the first step.
The kingdom of heaven.
That's beautiful.
Fuck this
The kingdom
world.
of heaven comes with the Lord, and that it's not gonna be like, oh, heaven, like we ain't gonna be
You ain't
naked
gonna
angels. with
float
wings,
up on a cloud with
with our
wings.
with our
That's-
flutters like this.
Well,
going up
because
into
the
the
Lord
clouds.
actually makes mention in I had actually skimmed past it, but the Lord He actually calls the earth His footstool, and then we're not really meant to dwell in the heavens, because that's His domain, you know.
That's why He said heaven on earth,
That's interesting.
which is actually the word heaven breaks down to rulership. So there are certain people who are in heaven right now. You understand? So there's those certain people that are in hell that are serving the people in heaven. So
But this is what you have to remember too. This is Edom's heaven. This is as good as it gets.
for Esau.
Okay,
Esau's
it'll
at the
never be
pinnacle.
better than this for them. Which is what, when you really think about it, you're like, damn. Well, if the kingdom of heaven is gonna be paved with streets of gold, and we can't even walk up and down the street without tripping in a pothole. You know what I'm saying? That's the basis of their kingdom. This is the best they can do. This is the best they can do.
And actually, we're gonna cut
Yeah,
Esau
the
in
Christians
just a
today,
second.
I would say they serve mammon.
And they do. They
That's
they
their
serve
God.
mammon and bow.
Their belly and money.
And bow,
That's
yeah.
their God. And then they use Jesus Christ
As a front.
It's
Clean their
I say
conscience.
It's like a mob. It's like a mob
It's a
thing.
charade, man. It's a magical trick. It's a look here while I stab you with this hand. You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
Yeah. Oh, you're so good. I love you in the name of Jesus.
That's
Goodbye. Oh yeah, police.
Fuck this.
Right.
He's going down this street.
Yeah, this God.
He got all
I think
kinds
he's
of
gonna
illegal
steal
shit.
the neighbor's car.
Right.
Oh, man.
Hey man,
And we can
that's
testify
Esau
to
with a
that.
nutshell.
We can
That's
testify
Esau
to
with a
that.
nutshell,
'Cause
man.
this one time he was in this super white neighborhood and this brother's car broke down there. And we had to go there to get the stuff out of the car. We had the cops pulled on us. They thought we were trying to steal some cars.
Well, I had a guy in a car accident the night before. There was a storm, and I go the way I was going home. I always go that way home. I go through the neighborhood, and then I wound up leaving the neighborhood. You know, it's like a shortcut that I knew I would take it and go home. I was going through there, and I hit a patch of ice and lost control and wound up wrecking my car. But I was able to move it up the street a little bit and get it out of the way, so that, and there's no way I was going to be able to move it like that night, like make it all the way home. So I, planned to go get it the next day and, do whatever I had to do, tow it. If it was drivable, I was going to take it home. But then we kind of realized we couldn't drive it, so we were going to tow it. So before we did that, we decided to clean it out, get all my, belongings and whatnot out of the car. And he came with me, and the brother in the blue garment behind me came with me as well. And I don't know, some people were looking at it. It's a pretty rich neighborhood. It's kind of tucked off.
Oh my God.
They called the
drug
cops.
addicts, drug dealers.
There's some niggas
They're gonna
outside.
take our children.
They called the cops and said that it was 3 suspicious black men, which that brother's complexion was not even, remotely dark. And they said it was 3 suspicious black men robbing or stealing, taking things out of a car. And it was my car. It was my car.
Wow.
And then the cops actually came
See, that's what I heard.
and towed the car. So
That's why I say fuck America, man.
But
fuck
God,
white
that's right.
Christianity. Fuck all these fucking idiots. Man.
that's right.
That's right.
So they had said on the news, because there was a lot of people crashing and getting in wrecks that night, that you had 72 hours to remove any, shut down vehicles, broken vehicles, crashed vehicles, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But they took my car that night because it was, or that day, we called the tow truck. They show up and they're like, there ain't no car here. I'm like, what? What you mean? We just left there and there was a car there. Tracked it down to the police lot. And then I told him, like, man, this is some bullshit. I
Only
own this
motherfucker
car.
I know that got his car out of the police lot for free.
Yeah, hey, that was a blessing. The Lord let me slip one over on Esau.
They didn't have a right to take it.
No, and they had said that they had literally just said it the night before that they wouldn't do it. So, but because I was
Because there was 3 suspicious black men taking something out of the car.
right,
What was
they
it,
just
one
assumed
person
it was
that called
okay.
in?
Probably, like you said, probably that lady in her God blessed man. She got
Right.
a picture. She got a
Hold on
picture
a
of-
minute, church script.
Yeah, she got her Mary on this side, a picture of white baby Jesus on this side. Call the police like,
I hate all black people and their feelings.
There's 3 black men outside and they're
But hey, man, that just goes that just goes to show you the wickedness of the world, man, in general.
And that's the apple of the Lord's eye. So you have to understand something.
See, I get judged by these people too.
So, hold on.
Because I dressed different.
Listen,
Right? Well, hey, man, you may be getting judged
you have to understand one
because
thing
you may be in that.
These people right here, man. That's the apple of the Lord's eye. That's his favorite people on the planet. That's his
chosen line.
That's
His
his
chosen
strawberry
seed.
milkshake. You know what I'm saying? On a Tuesday night with French fries. You understand? This is the Lord's bride, his wife, his woman.
Which
He's married unto these people.
Makes mention of in the scripture as well.
I'm confused. I don't know what all that means.
So, how he refer? You ever heard how the Lord refers to Israel as his woman or his bride?
Yeah.
We are married unto the Lord. So this is everlasting until death do us part. So
this is
his
the bride
woman.
of Christ being
so,
abused.
Right. So think about, like you said, if you saw a bunch of black men raping white women, you'd get angry and you try to stop
I'd
it.
get mad too if I saw a bunch of white men.
Think about the
raping
Lord,
black
the
women.
heavenly power, the one who created all things, everything walking on the sun, the man who can destroy all this stuff by the snap of his finger, is seeing this happen to not just some other person of his nation, but his bride, his wife. This is what's happening to her.
Right.
So this is why that kind of thing has to happen. It's a balance act.
Yeah.
And it really ain't based off of no racism. Is only racism is not actually
It
meant
just
to be a
kind of hits
negative.
me in a fucked up.
I hear
way,
what you're
you know?
saying, but what I'm trying to convey is that racism, the way that we perceive it now, was only brought about through those kind of acts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, if it weren't for that kind of shit, there wouldn't.
The karma wouldn't be here.
Right.
Hey,
So,
it's simple.
but what I'm saying
Consequences.
is, there's consequences for your actions. See, these people done lived a long time in America,
Reincarnations in the scriptures. Those people are back.
believing the concept
Those people come
that
back.
they don't
Oh,
deserve,
right, yeah.
that they don't
like,
deserve no punishment.
This is Isaiah. You know, he says of
Thou
John
should
the
have not
Baptist.
have, or Ezekiel.
Yeah, thou
35th
should have
chapter.
not have.
Thou should have not have. Put your hands on the. I think he does.
Shouldn't have done it.
All right.
And it's not necessarily ass whooping that you didn't even want to get like there. You know, you got Jacob out here that had friends that Edomites.
Right.
I grew up with these people,
I grew up. Hey man, I grew up around a lot of Edomites.
but hey,
But the
thou
judgment is
should've not
coming for
had.
them.
I
You know?
can't tell them different than what the Lord said.
Right.
Hey,
I'm
the
not
Lord
gonna,
says,
you
yeah, they
know-
got to get their ass whooped, and they got to get their ass whooped.
Because we
Got our ass whooped.
got our ass whooped.
Bad.
We had to take that ass whooping for generation after generation.
Ain't nobody,
after
and
generation
ain't nobody
after
special.
generation
If the
after
Lord's
generation.
people have to get their ass whooped, these other nations got to get
And
their
that's
ass
what
whooped.
people have to remember too, man. When you're dealing with these scriptures, especially for brothers who's coming into this thing and they're just learning, that, hey man, these other nations, they gonna take ass whoopings because the Lord was unafraid to kill his own son. He was unafraid to sacrifice his own son. If you remember, Yahushua begs out to the Lord. He prays to
He
him.
said, "Why do please don't make me
Like,
do
why I
this."
gotta die, man? You know, and he
Has
didn't
to be another
necessarily
way.
want to do it,
Great
but
drops of blood.
and the Lord
It
ignored
seems
it.
like a very insignificant sacrifice to me.
Well, when
To
you
be honest,
when you
from a God that threw all these people in here to begin with,
right,
put a tree.
but
and
look
said,
at
"Oh,
it. You gotta look at it from the long term.
reverse psychology though. Don't
Right.
touch that tree. What are you gonna want to do? Touch the tree. Oh, and then he
Yeah,
threw
well, that also goes
Satan
into-
in the garden with them.
It also goes into
That's
obedience.
real
because
great.
The heaven, he's a father first and foremost. So when you have a child, that's a creation. You know, you talk about creation. You have to view it in different. You know, you have to have different viewpoints. So you said it's vain, but when you're a father and you tell your child to not do something, you expect that child not to do something.
Right.
Because that's your authority. That you're the man of the house.
I think a lot of it is the concept of hell, eternal, is what fucks me up.
That's
Because
you know,
as long
I-
as it's a hell that you put yourself in and you can get out of eventually, if you know.
Well, I'll say it like this: it's strong
Figure it
delusions because the Lord will put a strong delusion on your ass.
Right.
He'll stop you from seeing what He wants you to see.
For real.
So honestly, to be 100 completely honest with you, deal with the scriptures and you deal with this thing in season, out of season, day and out, and the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is with you. It's simplicity.
Right.
The scriptures is simplicity.
It'll start to be like that.
It's
road.
a- it's
the way should be.
It's
simplicity.
honestly
Whatever it is.
one and two. It's the ABCs for
Right.
me. It's the
It's
ABCs for
it's
this brother.
arithmetic. You know what I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying? It makes sense.
It's one plus one. You know,
Equals
it's not,
2, you know what I'm
it's
saying?
not complicated, and
it's
people
philosophy.
people
It's-
make it complicated
Right.
by trying to spin it too much. They're
Or
trying
the,
to put too much sauce on it. And
Or the I think and I feel type
Right.
people. I think
You can't-
well,
when you
the
read
Lord
the
is this
scriptures-
way, I think this way.
right.
Or
When
I
you read
want
the
to be
scriptures,
this
you
way, and
gotta,
the Lord's that way.
right. You
It
got to
would-
think plainly, man. You got to, and honestly, you got to, because he speaks to us plainly, and it's in parables, but you got to understand them parables.
But to
and-
those that have the ears to hear, it's plain.
right,
Yeah.
that's what. That's
Because-
really
I
what
mean,
it is.
there's a lot of groups of people who think they have the ears to hear.
Right, of course. But
Which-
hey, but the that's those false prophets. And Luke said, in Luke, there's a scripture, and it says, the apostles actually asked him. They say, "Why doest thou speak to us in parables?" And he said, "Because it is given to you to understand the mysteries of heaven, and not to them."
Yeah.
So there's gonna be people that don't know a goddamn motherfucking thing about the kingdom of heaven, but they're gonna try to tell you about it.
Right.
And they gonna tell you it's some magical place where you float up naked with your ass cheeks hanging out. So when the Lord says the nakedness of another man is an abomination. We ain't supposed to view the nakedness of another man, but Esau got angels doing like this and
What do you
shit with
think
their
about
little dicks
the
out.
Book of Thomas?
And if it's not in here,
It's in the Apocrypha.
you said the Book of Thomas.
Yeah.
It's not in the Apocrypha.
No?
I don't think. Yeah, no, I've never read that book of Thomas.
But I got you though. So we're gonna continue on these precepts, man. This is verse 2. Keep breaking it down, brother. If you have any precepts, brother, please bring them out. And it says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaidens." So we're gonna take these other nations and we're gonna put them in chains,
Oh, wow.
just like they
Huh.
did us.
I've never caught that.
Yup. So go ahead and break that down.
Because
now.
that's what he said.
Everybody going
A
to
hand-
heaven, but they ain't going the way that you think.
Exactly. A handmaiden. That's what it really breaks down to. Because the kingdoms, we're going to use these other nations
To build our
the
kingdom the same way they did us.
The same way that we built up America.
only difference-
The
the only
same way
difference
that we
is-
built up those other
The
kingdoms.
other difference is these nations are all going to get to go home after they build up our kingdom.
What
The only
about-
nation that doesn't
What about the meek shall inherit the earth?
is the Edomites.
Who's the meek right now?
The word is the rainbow will be.
The nation
Well,
of
also, if
Israel
you
is-
say it like that, well, the rainbow represents what? What does the rainbow represent?
All the
It
colors.
represents the covenant.
All
The covenant that the
colors.
Lord will not destroy the earth by water again. And he's going to keep that covenant. Not only then he's going to keep his covenant with Israel, and he's also going to keep the covenant that he made that day with the rainbow to not destroy the earth by water
Which
again,
is-
but he's going to destroy it by fire.
which is
But
why
supposedly they're supposed to. I could be kind of off on this, so you may want to check it if you put anything into it.
Okay, so that's what we hear from you defenders of the word, man. We'll correct you from going on.
But it just says the warriors of the rainbow will rise up and say, "Stop killing your brothers. Stop destroying the earth."
Oh, that sounds like something that Esau needs to be told.
It'll be some meek. It'll be meek. That's why I think they're meek until the Battle of Armageddon.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
and
you
to be
see-
honest with you, man, when you talk about the meek and the humble, who's the most meek and humble people you ever find? Who's a prideful, arrogant people, and then who's the meek people that will?
I would say
that will
white
talk to you?
is probably the most prideful. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of prideful black people
There is, but you have to break it down to
and Chinese
But
people.
you-
But
see-
I would say Chinese people.
Well,
or Asian people.
let me also
Who-
explain.
not
Hold on,
Chinese.
brother.
Maybe Korean.
Let me also bring this out. Okay, 2/3 of the nation of Israel
trash.
are gonna die anyway. 2/3 of our own people have to die because they won't come back to this. So when you say there's a lot of proud Negroes
You're damn right.
or Latinos or Native Americans walking around, you're right. They're so proud that they can't even accept their own heritage because they have too much fun being something else. You know what I'm saying? So really, when we're out here, we're not out here for everyone. We're out here for this year because the 1/3 of our nation that's going to can come back to the promise, and then that's really the 144 right there. That's the percentage.
What about, is there 2 tribes still in Israel, or
There's 12 tribes in Israel.
in Israel?
There's
know where they are?
There's 12 tribes that are the nation of Israel. Period.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, the nations that are there right now are Amalek and Edomites.
And there's no
And
tribes
there's
of
no
Israel
tribes.
there?
I mean,
there's some few Israelites there.
possible that there's Israelites there, but
okay.
with that being said, the people who are calling themselves the so-called Jews today are most definitely not that nation.
So you said Israel translates from what?
It translates from
Prince
the
of
Hebrew
power,
word
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah, which
Yash.
is right. So you have Yahweh, Yahweh and Yasharallah.
Shit, can you write that down?
It's on
Oh,
the
it's on that
it's on the card.
card,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And you said it said the sons
It
of.
breaks down to Prince of Power, the Princess of Power.
Whoa. And it says Satan was given the power over the air, right? prince of the air.
Well, Satan's just giving power to fuck with people, to devour the earth. So he basically
It says that somewhere
Satan,
in here that
yeah,
Satan has power
Satan's
of
job
the air.
is what he does is he goes out and he basically tries to deceive, and he basically his spirit is made to divert you away from this.
And
His
to
spirit
get
is
you
just to do
to
shit
get
to
you on that level where you're dealing with that, and that's what because that's smooth deception. Try being a Christian or being in the faith of
happened
Christianity
to Job.
or
Being,
Catholicism. That is
Babylon.
smooth deception.
Babylon.
You know what I'm saying? You might as well
That's
be.
right.
What do you
Yeah,
think
this
about
is
Rastafarians?
They,
Close no cigar.
yeah, close with no cigar, and they got a lot of stupidity involved with that no cigar. So,
Yeah.
and that's not taking
I
a
don't know
knock.
too much about them.
Right. Well, the Jamaicans actually belong.
They're Benjamin.
They're
They're the tribe
Benjamin.
of
I like
They're the
them
tribe
more than I like
Right there.
white Christians, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the tribe of Benjamin right here, West Indians.
West Indians. Yeah.
West Indian traders, you're Jamaican.
A lot of Jamaicans. A lot of them, they're Israelites. There's no ifs and a but about it.
That's right.
But they're just not following.
Like too much so.
Right. They're just not following they're not following the laws of Yahweh.
What do you think about Gog and Magog?
Well, we'll get to them too, because we're
You
gonna
know,
get
there's
into.
two boulders up there named Gog and Magog.
Oh no, we'll get, like I said, we'll
Yeah.
get to that.
Bottomless pit.
But we gonna get to these. We go, jump back in the scriptures, get to teaching some more.
Right.
And it says, and the servants and handmaidens. So that's where we're at. And it says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
So the fact that we've been held captive, there's all our captivities there. Every single one of them we're gonna take every single one of them into captivity. And now this includes a lot of nations within these nations. So virtually we're gonna put everybody in chains to build the kingdom of.
That's right.
Essentially, when that time comes and the kingdom is being rebuilt, the kingdom of heaven is actually being built. It's gonna be built by those captains. That's right.
Well, if I sense it's really righteous, I'll be on their side. If I sense it's not,
But I mean, if you're of the nation of Israel, you're gonna be on our side regardless, because you're gonna be born back with the law, statutes, and commandments written on your heart.
Which is
But if
awesome.
you are of these nations, then you'll be in captivity and you won't have much to say about it.
Hey, but like the brother said, see, there's a righteous way to deal with captivity. There is. All right, you can have someone in captivity, and you don't necessarily have to rape, rob, murder, and take everything from them, and then never let them go. Right. The way that
yeah, like it says,
Pharaoh
it
did.
says a listing of how to treat your
Right.
servants.
How you can whoop them with a certain amount of lashes or whatever if they go off. There's righteous ways to deal with that. See, the issue is, especially for Edom, is that when they got us in captivity, they've never let us go. Ever. Because they can't let us go. We're too lucrative. We do too much for their nation. So it's in their spirit too to not let
Matter
us
of
go.
fact, they've used us in every single one of their. We're their auxiliary army.
It's funny, I wrote on Facebook, I was Moses.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
are their
Obama.
army. We've
I
always
said
been
to
their army.
Obama, let my people go.
Hey, he's a Hamite. Obama's a Hamite.
Which
He's not even
which
Israelite.
Egypt, they wouldn't let Jake go either until the Lord came and put the work in on Egypt to the point where Pharaoh was like,
this man saw frogs fall from the sky and river turn to blood, and still wasn't trying to let them.
man,
Right.
and it wasn't until he lost his firstborn son.
I heard that all of the plagues were attacks on the Egyptian gods.
I mean, well, shit. If you got Egyptian gods, they were made false that day.
Right.
So they pissed off. All their gods got made to be false.
Right.
All their firstborn sons died. They pissed the fuck off.
And
I'm
then
still
even-
kind of going with
and
the
then even
Emerald
after-
tablets, but I don't know.
Even after that, just to make another point on that, even after that,
He still went to
he
send the
let
army
them
out.
go, and then
He thought about it. It was
thought
like,
about it. It was like,
Fuck them
man,
niggas, man.
yeah, and he still went after them.
And then his army got swallowed up by the sea.
So hey, man,
And that's why there's still chariots down there. Still to this day. You go to the bottom of the Red Sea, you'll find chariots.
yeah, they found chariot wheels and
All right.
bones of horses.
And it says, continuing on, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from thine hard bondage where thou was made to serve.
Right. Hey man, and the bondage we served in Egypt, and really Egypt just means bondage anyway. That's what it breaks down.
That's
to.
why they had
Yeah, it breaks down the land of bondage
our
Huh.
house of captivity.
or house of
Well,
captivity.
you
right.
know that verse in Isaiah that talks about a land marker that God will set in the middle of whatever and whatever, but it's basically where the great moon it is. And so it's like the marker he's talking
Talking about the
is
one where he
great
say
moon.
that all eyes will see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know.
And there's this one book that I think Enoch built it, and it's also attributed to Thoth in the Emerald Tablets. So I'm thinking. I think on